Hello and welcome to another coaching video, and in this one we have an Emerald Volibear versus an Emerald Nocturne. The plats of yesterday are the emeralds of today, except for the low plats of yesterday and the high golds of yesterday, which are the plats of today. So the platinum videos on this channel will be focused more on your platinum 4, platinum 3, gold 1, gold 2s, as that's stereotypically what we're going to have in platinum. And anyone above that and a few D4s will become the emerald, as we see the Akali fighting the Volibear, the Jags, and the Volibear's rotating to this. Now, off the bat here, what do you see? You're going to see a lot of obviously low diamond platinum tendencies in emerald. That's going to be the shift, but over the next couple of months, we'll have a good overview of how these MMRs develop their own habits and tendencies as everything gets realigned. So that's going to be really interesting. But we obviously see here the Nocturne bottom side. We've got this this ward over here as well for a little bit of protection. That's great, obviously. Would prefer it to be a little bit further up, but as long as, you know, you see the guy walk across, you'll get that vision. Bottom lane's doing their thing, and I don't like showing like this super early. It's just an absolute waste of your time. Like, you're doing this and you're watching this. Now, if you watch the main channel video, right? We watched the main channel video where this Poppy kind of gave a leash, walked into the tri bush, got illegally traded, and then was forced out back to base, burned to TP. It was doomed, right? That's on the top laner. You know, if you think this is a possibility, go the long way, be safe. And I do this in bottom lane too. If I'm a support on the bottom side, I'll leash. I just don't walk through try. I have to let you know that you can get the jungle video courses on Virkayu.gg for a 95% discount with the new membership program. Get access to the courses you need to achieve your goals by the end of Split 1 and for all of Split 2. Not only that, I'm also including a private Discord with this so that you can come and join me, get access to free coaching, free champion infographics, weekly lectures and Q&As, as well as a free video every week only released within the Virkayu.gg Jungle Club Discord. If you want to buy the courses standalone, you of course can still do that, along with the free jungle improvement PDF, the video courses, plus full access to the Discord. Virkayu.gg is even more a jungler's learning paradise. Click the link below to climb faster than Warrior chasing a 1 HP Jinx across the map. You don't see junglers always rotating to this. Most of the time they don't. And it's always an insult, like, why didn't you just walk around if you thought they were going to cheese you? Same thing with top laners. Give a little cheeky leash, go the long way around, be safe, my friends. And now the Volibear, this, I hate this so much, because now you're trading into the mini wave, you have no E-spell. What are you going to exactly do? It's a complete and utter waste of time, and it's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing that we have just seen. Just go to your Krugs, go to your Raptors, and carry on about your business. Now the Nocturne sees this and says, hey, I can go counter jungling. And the Volibear's like, well, where's Nocturne? He hasn't shown on this yet. And look, Nocturne's not going to do this, and an Emerald jungler's not going to do this. But you could very easily kind of say, oh, look, I saw the Zoe ward this, or, you know, the mid laner ward this. I'm just going to stick close to this wall and keep on going. I'll skip the Raptors just so you don't see me. I have been known to do this kind of cheeky things. I'll skip camps, I'll slow things down, just to entirely mislead the enemy jungler. What that does is you give up a little bit of something now, but you get way more stuff later, like a lot of stuff later, especially if you are susceptible to the invades. Now, in this particular case, obviously, the Nocturne is not one of those susceptible to invade. So for him, he doesn't really have to worry about those things. He can afford to just go here. He can do this and be seen and still go for this if he has prior. He's a strong fister early, a decent duelist. So that's not really what he would have to do here. But there are possibilities from Volibear's perspective, like maybe the Nocturne just skipped the Raptors. And you wouldn't necessarily expect him to do that, but it's got to enter the realm of possibility. Does that make sense tracking-wise? You got to think, could they have done this? What else could they be doing? Because as soon as he doesn't show on this Raptor pit, 99% the guy's stealing my blue because I show topside, but he also could have just skipped it to mislead me. And we do have this possibilities. Volibear goes in here, we get that flash animation cancel onto the Nocturne. Nice counter gank here. And here's the, oh my goodness, that's unlucky. We'll rewind that and have a cheeky look there. That's good. So from Volibear's perspective, I love this cut, right? Like, this cut is super important. From the Nocturne's perspective, this is the risk. Because we see the Volibear go back to Krugs. We know he's going to come down to Raptors. You want to go for this blue steal? Great, right? But then ask yourself, is this better than what I already do better than the Volibear? Same thing for Nocturne's Karthus's, anything like this. I see this guy go up here, waste his own time and go all the way down. Okay, I'll just keep doing my clear because I don't need to vertical or steal your stuff. Me stealing your blue and cutting through here, even if I get nothing, means I have 12 CS. I have less CS than I could have at this point in 3 minutes, and the Volibear's waste of time you know, if I lose a blue buff to a Nocturne or farming jungler in the situation, and I wasted my time top lane, it's like, oh, you know what, that's so dumb, I shouldn't have done it. I'm okay with that, because that means they didn't really get their true advantage over me. And most likely, they're going to be compromised for the rest of the full clear. It's going to give me time to get to the bottom lane. It's a whole bunch of cool stuff, and it also delays his reset for the tier 2 Krugs, which means I have time here now, and I could also steal them, while the Nocturne's topside. There's a lot of moving pieces when you do something like this as Nocturne, which is why I much prefer to just carry on with your clear and say, look, I have that advantage. Volibear does a great job cutting in, most likely recognizes, hey, the Nocturne has my blue buff. Here, obviously, we're a little low. A little unlucky not to get that kill there. Obviously, player knows how to play Volibear, and we did have that lockout bug, which has been now fixed. So this game is after the Q bug fix. Now, the Volibear gets an assist here. 16 CS, the Nocturne is 12 CS, has to go back to base. Was that worth for Nocturne? By any stretch of the imagination? No. The only camp he's going to have respawning is the Krugs. Volibear is going to have the Krugs and the Raptors. The Volibear traded. This is obviously, can we please get something, please? You know, this is the kind of thing I like as well. This was stupid, but even if it's a stupid mistake or something random, or you potentially resetting a camp, right? And you cross mid lane, you're behind on tempo, but you see something happen, you can react it, do so. Do so, clean up, shove, translation gank, know that you've got the safety of this, and that's fantastic. We've got the Scuttle Crab as well. Nocturne's now unholy compromised. He's 16 CS, he's down in CS to the Volibear, who wasted 10 years chasing a Jax into a minion wave. How is that person not punished? Now, he's gonna go in here and ward this. Okay, now he's gonna look for this mid lane gank. So on the face of it, this is not a terrible decision, but at the same time, Volibear's still on the bottom side. So it is a terrible decision. Why? Because on the face of it, hey, guy leaves base, does blue, does scuttle, gets a deep vision, sees a nice ganking angle, cool. But is this what you need as a jungler? Is this your best play? Can you even do anything about this lane, knowing that the Volibear would have fallen down here, ganked this lane, taken the Scuttle Crab, because you should see 12 CS, pushes it, 16 CS, goes down to this, shows up here with 16 as well, pushes this, goes back to this. You know, once you show up here, you know the Volibear could cut in at any point, and sure, he hasn't come back to base, but all you have is a longsword. Now you've telegraphed where the Volibear is basically like, okay. All of us who are good junglers are like, okay, if you really want to waste your time on ill-advised ganks, knowing that my Krug camp just spawned a 445 because I wasted time topside, you can't counter jungle me according to the regular clock. Nocturne's going to take his tier 1 Raptors, cut through and do this. Like, this is just, let's draw a diagram with the mouse of what this Nocturne has done this game, right? While the Volibear resets with his Ionian Boots and Dark Seal, which we always enjoy. Bum-ba-dum-ba, bum-ba-da. Here we go. Back to base, and then we go to the blue, then we go to the Scuttle, then we ward this, and we do this, then we do... No. No. Terrible. Let the Volibear... I see a Volibear do that top side. I'm just like, okay, I'm a full clear. I know you're screwed and delayed. I can reset and counter gank you because you're delayed. I have so much control as a Nocturne or the Karthus in that particular point. And as a Volibear, great job recognizing that he probably did a bit of a doo-doo in the top side and then corrected it beautifully. Now, we are obviously seeing here from the Nocturne's ward, but again, does it take a genius to see that he's going to be on Raptors at this stage? No, it really doesn't. Now, the Nocturne, again, this is where it becomes difficult to track from the Volibear's perspective, because the guy obviously goes back to base 12 CS, goes ahead, and he does his blue, he does the Scuttle, he'll show up with a plus 8 CS in the mid lane, goes down to the Raptors. Now, the question you have to ask yourself is, did the Nocturne go from the Raptors' terrible E down to the Krugs and the Dragon or gank bot? I don't know what he did. Like, you don't know he's going to cut up or cut down. You have no clue. So the Volibear's like, look, I'm just going to keep going, do my camps here, and I'll react to whatever I see, which is, of course, what he does. Again, nice, immediate reactive pathing, no camps on the map there on the top side. Going to help the Akali shove this out a little bit here. Jax is going to try and jump over the leap strike. Obviously, Akali's going to take that. Oh, that was nicely done. Quick. The E's, man. The E's are rough, but Akali does alt execute. Nice. Push. There we go, my Emerald Sun. Well done. Scuttle Crab. Let's go. We know. Jax is going to TP back in. Nocturne's not on the picture. We've seen the Kiana get kills, go back to base. So we can go ahead and take this. Could you take the red 2? It's counterintuitive, right? Because it's like, well, you don't want to take the red and go back to base. You're wasting its duration. It is nerfed, obviously. For the golden experience, I think, thinking out loud here, if I can do the scuttle and the red and just reset, then I can just focus straight up on the bottom side. At the same time, I know directly that the Nocturne is going to go to that bottom side now. And he could very, very easily look to take his red side quadrant, try and sneak a dragon, get a little bit of catch-up juice, and then do something in my bottom lane, right? So what is your goal here? Maximize your own econ and maybe counter gank or give up the dragon, maybe, you know, who knows what happens on the bottom side. Or take this Scuttle Crab and then rebase and go straight down here, but you've taken the RNG, right? You know, two schools of thought in terms of how you want to prioritize your pathing. I don't think we need the red whatsoever. I don't think it needs to be a point of focus for us. And now you're seeing him go back to base, take the red and cut down. We see the trade on the bottom side here with the Vayne killing the Karthus. 5-0-1 bottom lane, I would love to support to some degree. Nocturne is obviously down on this bottom side, gonna hit 6 pretty soon. Therefore, let's just take the Scuttle Crab, because it's a neutral objective, back to base. And then we can head straight down to the bottom side where we have Camp 1, Camp 2, Lane 1 ganks a Snowball, and a Dragon fullback. And then this blue will spawn during that phase as well. And then by the time we're done here, all of this will be up, and the Herald will be up as well. But going back to base and not taking the Scuttle and then just leaving for the red and coming down, it's a bit of cross-country, right? Like, there's no point to this. Because there's no reason to go from base to red for the sake of taking red. And he's doing exactly what we're kind of saying here. But he could have just taken the Scuttle, reset, come down here with the intent of ganking bottom lane or getting 6 from camps and then ganking bottom lane. And if they do good things like they did, just go straight to the dragon, which is what he does. But this is way less efficient than that, right? So keep that in mind. That efficiency is going to be really important in Emerald as you want to get back to Diamond. And remember, they're thinning out the low Diamond rank percentages. Oof, we're overkiting here a little bit. Karthus shows up. The Senna shows up. We're going to extend our Q with that ultimate. Obviously, we'll get nice animation cancels on the W, and the E will get the smackdown. That one was good. She kind of just stood and accepted. I like the all-in nature of this. We've got the Ionian boots. There we go. We can... Whew. Smooth. Smooth, baby. We like it, that Jiro. We like it. That's nice, quick Volibear animation canceling. No hesitation. We're going straight in. I do enjoy it. Now, this guy should be on this already. Take this. Take it. Take it. Take it. Okay, good. We've seen too many heralds being given up on this channel recently. It's hopefully becoming something that eggs you on in your games, you know? Like, even coaching yesterday, we see people do stuff on the bottom side and we just don't do heralds. And it's a problem. That was like, literally, I went from silver to emerald coaching yesterday. And we got some diamond homies in the private membership Discord as well. Udyr savants focusing on this kind of stuff, you know? That's what we got to think about. Now, the Kiana obviously has a little more ability to deal with the Volibear to a certain degree. Oh! F's in the comments for that Nocturne ultimate. That was an atrocious button press. Always says Sean Connery for some reason. Automation can't. Auto attack cancel on the ward. Here we go. Now we become spaghetti pathing, spaghetti words, and spaghetti client. The Nocturne then presses R, takes a herald, goes back into his blue side. Akali says, you know what? I'm going to use that to go ahead and just kill him. Kha'Zix. Who's Kha'Zix in this game? Virkayu, stop. Reset your brain. Rewire. Okay, good. We're good. Karthus presses R. So what happens when you record too much content in one go, or scap too many things in one go? I was looking at a Kha'Zix video before this recording, so the names do get confused. I do a lot of talking, much to my wife's great pleasure, all the time. You know, are we really F's in the chat for that ultimate as well? I think Nocturne's not coming out of base. There seems to be a little bit of a why are we doing that thing, that chrome see-through Volibear chroma. No, I don't know what exactly is going on at this particular stage. It's evolved into a bit of a messy scenario. Now, taking a turret this early, I commend you on elevating the game state, but is the rest of the map really ready to do that? You know? You're getting the kills here on the Nocturne, and the question always has to be, once I've killed him, can I just take all of his shit? And then maybe we can dive the Jax if he comes back, if that ultimate's available, which of course it should be and was. You know, that's a better play. And then obviously I can go back to base and straight down to the bottom side, or I can finish off my right side quadrant and then base, but you don't want to over finish a quadrant and then base when you know the Nocturne's going to be down here potentially looking to shut down your Vayne. So you've got to think about, again, my own econ or tempo to match and counter gank such that I can snowball the lane that's ahead, which is what we technically should be doing. And I don't always like shoving in the mid lane turret this quickly, because now most mid laners would just push him down, and then the Nocturne's just going to ult and kill him. You know, and that's a big problem most of the time. But again, not terrible. It just means your CSPM should be higher. Obviously, for my Volibear homies, I am very much on the build I came up with end of 2021, when this champion was also terrible and shit and useless and horrible, and he's worse now than he was then. But I still like my Tiamat, Sheen, Ionian Boots, and Lucidity early rush. I like to finish my Trinity Force, and then the Titanic Hydra, Frozen Heart, plus most likely a Abyssal Mask, although the Spirit Visage could be interesting with the healing amplification on that W buff, which you of course get a lot more of when you max that W. I would most likely go with like 3 points in Q at this stage and then max W, just so I can have some good ganking pressure early, but also have a focus on my W healing ratio getting boosted at max rank as soon as possible, which also will really make that build sing. You don't have to max that Q if you don't think the lanes are that difficult to gank, and again, you should be fine. But there is more focus on 7 to 8 CSPM kind of Volibear gaming when you do that. I'm just speaking about it because what we saw here again, just don't do any of it. Always question, where's the Nocturne? What's he gonna do? Can I be there so I can kind of gank it directly so people don't die? If I'm gonna die, if I stay here, then leave. It's always worth just going to do, like, you're a jungler, right? You don't have to protect this turret and die. You're not the ADC. That's ADC's job. Just go back, do this, sequence everything. Or just, say, well, like, everyone's bottom lane, maybe I can seek the dragon. I've done that. Especially with, again, if you're maxing W, going my build, the heal already is going to be quite juicy. So what you want to make sure you're doing is you watch this bottom lane, you watch them shove in, you have vision protection, take the dragon. Pull it out, take the dragon, if they show up, you leave. That's a better invest of time, right? Because otherwise you're sitting on the turret doing nothing and dying, whereas here you're trying to get an objective and hopefully not dying, but you're gonna have the same outcome, but the payoff is, hey, I get a dragon. And then you can fall back into your blue side, reset, and go top side and do all the cool swappings. But again, this is the big problem with this kind of stuff. No, I've seen the timeline. I didn't mean to see the timeline. I didn't want to look at the timeline. I've seen that the Nocturne didn't listen to yesterday's coaching video, which is, of course, don't contest lost dragons. There you go. Peel as much as you can. Be the beefy boy. Iceborne Gauntlet is absolutely fine. Just oh, unlucky. Iceborne Gauntlet is, of course, fine. Oh! But again, this is the problem with the bear. There we go. We'll have Q up here for the center. Bang, got her. Like the Nocturne here, you're losing the game. It doesn't look so great. It feels awful. So you see this going away. Volibear's going to fall back to this and fall back to base. What can we do instead of even going to the side? Take this. Take these camps, gank the Akali if you're strong enough, or just go into the jungle, boom, 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 take everything. Take everything, gank the Akali that way. Just steal something while they're all busy doing something else. It's the most important thing that you can do, rather than contesting a pointless dragon that's not going to do anything to help your win condition. At all. Let them have it. Take all these topside camps such that they're gone. Get yourself back in the game, nice CSPM as well. Kill the Akali if you can with the Jax. Again, you gotta know your 2v1 assessments, right? Can I not? And then you'll at least be stronger for the next time you fight. And hopefully, because that mid lane turret is dead, and you guys have taken that bottom lane turret, you might see some pick potential somewhere else, and that's what Nocturne is going to thrive on to get back in the game. Sequencing, stealing, pushing, holding, and then making picks. And then doing the same thing on repeat. And the Volibear, if he's chasing things around and being inefficient and being more of a tanky boy, he's not going to have that same power curve. So that's what we really want to be looking for. Meantime, he's now sequencing top to bottom. Volibear's like, all right, well, let's go and have a look to see what we can do here. I would try and break that open, but bot lane is mid lane. Zoe is here as well, so obviously take the objective. Then we can see what we can do as a team. We should probably look to Goon Squad a little bit. Nocturne is shadowing at this particular stage. Volibear's like just going to face check this because he feels strong and vibrant and virile and he's had his hot oats. I applaud the use of ultimates, but guys, please, let's hit the spells and let's think about when we're using them and if our team is able to actually follow up. because it's ADC live. Fed, but there's a Kiana. GG. Right, here we go. Gus Walker Hatchling, 5 stacks to go before we get that boost. Huge, huge. That's the one you want to go. PTA obviously is good as well. This is fine. We do like that kind of mini red buff. Sorry, red buff. Mini red smite. Is he really going in on a Volibear here with a Leona? See, now, against a tanky boy who has a lot of healing, that's not kind of what you want to do here. Oh, close. Close. Not what you want to do from the Volibear's perspective, right? You're not a damage 1v9 carry. You're a sponge a little bit, and sure, you are kind of strong, but you're not going to be 3v2ing as efficiently as you could with a carry build. And 2, not really what you want to be doing as a Nocturne, flying into a guy that can just straight up fist you and kill you. So all around, again, more things that none of us really want to do. I want to shove this up a little bit, cut in, take this, take their camp, shatter the Zoe, push this turret, fall back to all of these things, take the gates, take this, reset, cool. Like, you're not looking to take uneven fights. So push up a little bit, but then pull back, right? Especially when it's just you and Leona. Like, what are you and Leona going to do 4v2, 3v2 while Zoe's here, while Akali is there? Nothing. So your job is just to get your Econ, control your camps, push the map up a little bit, get some deep vision, here we go, make picks, and then look for a fight with your team. But it's okay. Still solid, right? Like, we still got a kill back, and we still almost got 2. That's cool. Which is why I said if you're 1v9 carry and you're feeling really strong, like 2-3 levels ahead, you can do that in volley. I do like to do that as well. Because I know I can 3v2 because of the build, right? Because of the W max. Woo, unlucky. And just because of the fact that you would be doing this if you're like 3 levels ahead. And you want to save your ult for as long as possible, and yeah, it's great. Oh, this Nocturne, man. That was very South African. He's not so good, is he? Boom! There you go. Thank you, Zoe. Yeah, good pick. See, there's nothing wrong with playing tanky bear like this, but playing carry bear is a very different mindset. I will say that. Like, the builds and things I'm talking about here, it's very different. And you do suffer from the issues that Volibear has. Whereas if, as a tank, you can still survive and disrupt and be the stun bot and just peel, you know, but you don't have the same 1v9 potential. You can still 1v9, to be clear. We're doing a very good job here, obviously, but hopefully you can separate that in your mind. We'll get the 3rd dragon now. Baron's going to be spawning, so most likely we'll finish up this quadrant here. We've got 1200 in pocket. I would like to see a component finish just so we can go for this Baron. There we go. And now everyone should group, ward, and take care of this business. That's what we're looking to do here. Force a fight over this Baron. We need some wave pressure. Akali should push this up, or push this up a little bit. Someone should push this up. Yep. Get the red, give it to Vayne. There we go. Nice teamwork synergy. Karthus is holding the mid lane. We're doing some farm as well. Kiana standing still, so Kali says, you know what, let me go in. All right, here we go. Remember, Jax was pushing top wave. Nocturne is going to ult in here, but Kiana's dead. Remember, here you're trying to peel and stun as best you can. We get the kill. We're walking the other direction because we see the Jax obviously coming down. They're running away here. Vayne is in the mid lane, still not joining this fight in any real way. We'll now just go... The poor Senna. The poor Senna. Yeah, there we go. 075. Do the Baron. Nice game control, though. I'm very happy with the game control, but once more, compromising your game plan and your farming strategy that you have an advantage on to do a vertical, to do something that you wouldn't normally do, is not worth it. If Volibear goes to red, sits top lane for 10 years, level 2, fights the Jax, and you can maybe get blue and Gromp, right? And wolves. And then you can loop back around here for a better timed gank because you know the guy isn't going to be able to cut. Then you can protect your blue side as well. You know, that's okay, but if you're just stealing a blue as a farming jungler, it's not worth it, man. Like, Volibear doesn't care about you taking the blue. I don't care about you taking the blue. Who cares about that? I'll trade it. And again, like, I keep coming back to because it's so important. It's so important. Here now we take all of our camps before we take the Hextech Gate. That's a benefit of this map. Normally you would try to rotate as soon as possible, but with the Hextech Gate, you can actually take camps and then rotate over. We're going to take this turret, crashing waves. We see the Kiana. We're going to go in on the Jax. Nice misdirected intent there by the Volibear. There we go. I like that. We're going in on the Kiana. We turn ult back into the Jax. You probably didn't expect it. That's nice as well. So the Volibear play here has been pretty good. Jungling has been solid. It's not always giga perfect, right? But that's fine. Like, we're always working on things. And I think a lot of it here is just like this decision making. We get stuck in this... Should I ult and chase down the mid lane Kiana? Should I rotate and help the Akali versus Jax? No, that's her fault. Only rotate if it makes sense where you can actually get kills a little bit. But I don't like overtly, whoa, 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 whoa. There it is. Karthus is starting to scale. And she's at the top side here. So the sieging is not always going to be the easiest thing. Why are we standing still? Let's go, push mid. You see the center rotating here because the dragon's going to be spawning. So if you don't need to go back to base and you're strong and you can still heal up nicely, we can go down to the scuttle. But if you've got vision control and no one's really going to be moving in to take anything here, and of course you have finished Spirit Visage, nice, new itemization buff, plus the Tiamat, that's great. You can go this later on as well if you wish, but the Iceborne Gauntlet Titanic is also good tech, right? Because you're going to convert all your HP into AD when you finish Titanic right now. It's a huge late game spike. Huge late game spike. Soul is up. At this point, I'm okay with just forcing this a little bit because they have to try and do something, and we know we can win these fights. Karthus over the wall, sleep. Boo! Oh, come on. There we go. Nicely done. We don't need to do the dragon. We can just fight. There's no reason to do the dragon. There's no Leona. We don't need to... We should just be fighting this. Honestly. Well, I guess if Zoe's gonna kill everybody. Alright. We lost it, but who cares? Push down mid lane, push down bot lane, kill the Senna. Yeah, just end the game. Jax is splitting top lane, Akali can hold that as well. End the game. You don't need the red buff. You don't need... Just go end. You don't need the red, you don't need anything. Yeah, so there, you don't need to coin flip a soul, point. Just kill people once someone gets picked off and end the game. Really, that simple. Because, obviously, you know, taking that early soul is great. But if you take it at the expense of dying because you didn't all focus the fight, and then an Elder becomes an issue with a scaling team comp, you know what I mean. It's not going to be in this game. We have a huge lead. We can definitely deal with this comp easily. Nice peel again. But, I just, like, there's no reason. Just make the kill, shove the map, end the game. Kali's rotated over as well. Nice total win from the red team here. We don't often in these videos have such clean games. Actually, I always like to pick games. I pick games randomly too. Like, I don't pick messy games. They just are what they are because of the elo that they're in. But this has been a pretty solid game overall. You know, the Zoe did a great job. The Vayne won lane. And the Volibear kind of didn't shadow enough or snowball that lane enough, I feel. But did enough that the Nocturne was irrelevant. So he couldn't really do anything about it. And the one time he did go bot lane, Volibear rotated and tried to help, which is, of course, good. And we had a lot of great counter ganks here. Great counter gank, great counter gank. Strategic ganks by the Nocturne, if they're good, need to consider where the Volibear is. And he didn't. And the Volibear reactively path, got the great counter ganks, and as such, the Nocturne was punished. All because he saw the Volibear here and decided to steal a red buff, steal a blue buff. Everything was just downhill from there from the Nocturne. He lost all his inherent advantage. And Volibear, to his credit, took control. So there's your first Emerald coaching. Looks a lot like a high platinum, low diamond game to me. And that's most likely what it will continue to be. So thank you very much for watching. Virkayu GG for your jungle courses and memberships. Join the private Discord, have chats with me and everybody else, and learn together. As always, I will see you all in the next one.